reading a verse from Luke 18, verse 17. It says, "Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love little kids. From youth all the way down to toddler. I know I said I didn't know what I wanted to do after this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to involve young people. And I stumbled upon an article, and it was about a fourth grade teacher. And what she did, I just thought was hilarious. She took common everyday parables or sayings and took the first half of them and then gave them to her fourth grade students, and then had them fill in what they thought the second half should be, something they thought would fit well. So I have a couple of them, I'll read them. So the first one, it would be better to be safe than sorry. The students wrote, "Better to be safe than," punch a fifth grader. The second one, "Don't bite the hand that looks dirty." You can't teach an old dog math. A penny saved is not much. If at first you don't succeed, get new batteries. And my favorite, you get out of something what you see pictured on the box. And all of these to say, there's just something about little kids that's just funny, it's intriguing. And I think in this passage, this verse specifically, Jesus kind of points that out. He tries to show his disciples that there is something to learn from the little ones. And also, one of my favorite things about Jesus is that it always seems that he tries to shock and awe people. It's not because, first of all, it was a big deal that he had all the little children come up to him when he's preaching. The disciples didn't really appreciate that. The other people gathered didn't understand it. But no, he goes one step further. He says, you know what? If you guys don't receive the kingdom of God like these children do, you're not even going to enter it, period. So I guess that makes the question then, what does it look like to view it as a child of God, or as a child? So I had the privilege of, over break, my older sister just had a baby, actually on Christmas Eve. So I drove up to see her, and I got to see the 14-day-old nephew of mine. He was so cute. He was little. I mean, he was so small. I've never seen a kid that small before. And really, it was an amazing experience. But one of my favorite things was we got to see him get a new gift, and it was a blanket that someone had given my sister for her baby shower or something or other. And the blanket's one of those baby blankets where it's really soft in the middle, like the cotton, and then on the edges it's like the silk, like the really silky smooth. And they give it to the baby, and babies don't do much when they're 14 days old, I found out. But when it touched the silky part of it, its face just kind of changed. Its eyes kind of opened up real big, and it just became fascinated with that new feeling that it never felt before. And it really just got me thinking that isn't that the feeling that Jesus is talking about when he means like a child? Just how the child was completely enamored, completely fascinated by that feeling. And really that's how we should feel every time we think about the fact that we receive the kingdom of God. It should be that great, that same sort of feeling. And it's really easy as you get older. A lot of things change, a lot of things you outgrow. And really, I don't think it's not one of those things. Jesus is preaching to grown men about how to act like children in that sense. And but it's a difficult thing to do. And even as I was kind of writing through this and stuff, I was struggling, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to make myself a little more childish. So I was with a friend who was also working on homework, and I just started acting like ridiculous, like a little kid. Like I had little lifesaver gummies, I was stacking them up real high, I was throwing them at him and stuff. And obviously that's not exactly what the verse is talking about, but it is a different kind of feeling if because we're not children and we forget some of those experiences. So I really think that just because we're older and we're more mature doesn't mean we can't have that same experience. It just means you have to try a little bit harder, which is fair enough because we're more capable to put ourselves in those situations at this point. And whether it's looking outside, peeking through the blinds to see the sunset and realize, wow, like God did that, like that was God. Or whether it's, holding a 14-day-old baby and saying, wow. Because I can tell you right now, my first thought was wow, but it wasn't wow, this is from God. God made this child. It was just wow. And I think the important thing is to look for those experiences, and that's really what he means, and what he's trying to teach his disciples is that it's something that is everywhere. It's around us. When God gives us a calling to act childish, he provides. So there's amazing things that will leave us in awe all around us. We just have to look for them, see them, and recognize, wow, like God made that. Whether if you're a fourth grader and it's batteries, or if you are an adult and it's a sunset, or whatever the case may be. And then, given that it's Martin Luther King Day, I have a quote. It's my favorite quote, just to kind of end things. It says, "If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted pictures, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause and say, 'Here was the great street sweeper, and he did his job well.'" And as we go and live out our callings, which I believe we're all going to do, I just think it's important that there's one thing that we don't lose, and that's the childlike nature of that awe factor that God really does bring, no matter how old, no matter how young we are.
Good job.